go. I think what Tiz could have done here on the turn 8 hits, because he didn't even choose to set up to go fetch the ball if there was a riot, I would have made all these blocks 3 dice. Because he only needs to put four assists in, and he's already got 2. So he could have, certainly for the mighty blow hit, he could have made these 4 dice with absolutely no effort whatsoever. He chose not to. Doesn't matter whether he chooses to hit a foul, a stunned one or not, so he just goes and sets up and sets up for massive foul. With 8 assists, or 7 assists, whatever it is, he is automatically through armour.
This one on Lolathor.
Yeah, Lolathor calls the ref over. And he gets another one sent off. So now he had started with 14, he's now got 12. And actually what went through my mind was maybe that we could just maybe knock one out or something. And maybe he won't be having a full 11. Maybe. Because I did think I didn't roll very many powers in the first half, and when I did, we didn't do anything. So maybe things will come around. Maybe we'll actually get some numbers.
We did speculate that Lolathor had obviously been training hard at screaming like a big girl's blouse. So when that happened, it was inevitable the ref would look around and go, well, hello, hello, what's all this then?
Yes. Right. Then the second half kicks off, and we get a blitz. And the blitz was pretty big. It was a little bit too far back for us to take full advantage of it, but it was alright. We could do something. So I'm looking at this thinking, well, if the ball bounces directly in front of the linewoman, that's bad. But anywhere else, that's really good for us. And I choose to go and put some pressure on the flanking Amazons. Just in case the ball recovery isn't good, we can do something. And I will go and send someone forward, just go and be bothersome.
See, I was incorrectly speculating that Blitzer, who performed the blitz, would continue northwest and head towards the ball.
He'd only got 1 square of movement left, so in the square he was in, he didn't have any more movement. We've just missed that. His first action of the turn was double skulls, re-roll, push skull, and he doesn't have sure hands on a player. So he now has got to make a naked 3+ pickup. This is massive.
I may have said at multiple stages during the game,
oh, I was chanting drop it. I was
work.
Yeah, I was chanting drop it. Now I didn't say anything to him because obviously playing, but I did think the best thing he should have done here was he's got 1 free linewoman. He should have run it over to where the ball is. I thought this was a bit. It was an opportunity to lose the game, and you shouldn't really have many of those.
I can't believe you haven't got a line elf called Hello Mum, by the way.
Hello Mum! Hello Mum! I don't know if you're still here. Find out in a minute.
Tim, confirm or deny?
He does make the pickup.
Boo.
Something, I can't remember what it is. Something goes wrong, I think. Oh yeah. 1 in 9. So he's gone for a dodge, failed it.
I think the noise we made at this stage was, ooh.
Yeah. So this is what I spent ages counting this. Hang on. Make the turn banner go away. There we go. Right. So my first action I do choose to do is line elf into this this line woman here, because it means that I can actually get the wrestle witch elf round, and I can get a guard elf round, and it means that I haven't used either blodging blitzer and the runner, who are all free at this stage. So if the ball scatter is remotely not terrible, i.e. somewhere in those 9 squares, we can pick it up on a blodger. Game is done. All I need to do is knock the ball over, and I think probably got the game at this point. Let's see what happens.
Oh, I would like to point out, Sonji Haro, hello, welcome to the show. Normally, we would spend an extensive amount of time greeting you and make you feel right at home. However, as this is a big game and going on YouTube's, just hi.
So don't get the knockdown. Still don't get the knockdown. I've got to throw a reroll at that because it's so important. It's the opportunity to pretty much put the ball on a blodger. So where the ball's gone, runner's there. So if I stand here, I'm actually blocking my route. So I know that this blitzer has got to run round here and be stood there to stop these two coming round. And if the runner stands there, he's performing half the screen. So this one can pick the ball up and stand there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goes and stands there. Ball is then completely screened, and we can use the witch elf to just finish the screen off to make it even harder. But that is done. This is done at this point. Let's see what happens. But then by standing in this square, I make an extra dodge for myself.
What, as opposed to a GFI if you had?
Oh well, I need to run through and pick the ball up. So bad things there. Bad things that not only does he fail the double one, and not only does his army broken, but he also removes himself from the field of play, which is ever so helpful.
He proper double toasted himself then.
He absolutely did. Yeah, the Crumpet Lord was not good. So this isn't done. All he needs to do is not knock over the blitzer, and we're still in with a fighting chance because picking the ball up and making safe at this point, very difficult. So for the second time today, he needs to not knock over the you bastard, and so he knocks him over.
Language, Andrew. Mother's watching.
I think she's gone. I think I'm all right. Oh no, she's back. Oh dear. So we've had two chances to put the game to bed. Not just yet. This is some good play from him. He's actually moving players around, just non-dangerous moves, and goes and picks the ball up. Yep, that's all fine. And then he's gonna foul the witch elf, but unfortunately, he does foul something that turn. And it's just his last action, and he doesn't get to foul the witch elf, which I think would have been really rude, but he doesn't.
I rarely get access to ask your brother things, but since you're here, Tim, when did Andy first discover One Direction?
Oh God! Stop it!
The first time he heard "You're Beautiful," he was hooked, or did he come to them later in their career?
They don't know what you're talking about, by the way. Just for reference.
Just to be clear, Andy's love of the band One Direction.
Excellent. Right, moving back to the game. So I choose to go for a bit more pressure blow, and thinking 4+3+ with a reroll for 2 dice into 2 dice uphill. Because if we get the scatter and we get the knockdown, I can go and pick the ball up and we can go and score. Game done. Let's see what happens. Silly little sausage falls over. I'll do it. Shame. Oh well. So, I have to admit, at this point, I'm a little bit irritated, and this doesn't help. This really doesn't cheer me up anything.
It was at this point that we suddenly started going, hang up, starting to run out of elves a bit.
Yeah, he's starting to run out of elves. That is very true. And I stood up, I walked away, and let him finish the rest of the turn off, and I came back, and I sat down, and I realised that the game was actually only on turn 11. We haven't lost the game, it's just going a little bit wrong, and all I need to do is just turn this round and we'll win. We're fine. He's given me some opportunities to win it previously. Just keep going. Just keep going. And so I also remember that he's got to take the ball from there all the way to the end zone, and he's only got 5 turns to do it in. So maybe we can stop him. Maybe we can just win 1-0. Everything's fine. And maybe we can cause some attrition hits. So I go for this turn. I go for maximum. Can I knock stuff over? No. It's alright, we've not done. Let's try and knock something else over. No. Yay! We knock something over. And then the correct order to do things will be to dodge the witch elf out. Which I think I throw this block first. Oh no, do things in the correct order. Well done me. Dodge the witch elf out 'cause she's got dodge. Throw this block and then dodge the elf away. Knock and run over. Do get an armor break. And I've made the flank. The flank is a little bit weaker because if I can play him down a flank, my numbers disparity here is less noticeable than if he runs down the centre. So I'm quite fine with being down the flank. Let's see what happens. Necropotence, that is true. That is very true. So he's gone for a full... I think he goes for a very tight cage here, which is a good play from him because the first thing he should do is get the ball back under control, make it safe, and all he needs to just sort of hold on to it because he's got a numbers advantage, so he just needs to continue to leverage that advantage. And he's trying to put players in front of his actual cage so he's got space to run into on the following turn. So my counter will be like an elf, stand in the way.
That's exactly what we were speculating, that if you could get any form of screen and just delay, you might stand a chance of holding them out.
Yeah, I sort of clocked that I probably wasn't going to get a reasonable shot on the ball. The best way to dealing with this would be to try and form up a solid screen, so he can't do a lot.
That's what. Killjoy's off to pop the shower and make a nice cuppa.
Oh dear. I said it's like a large kettle, not actually a large kettle.
What was it you said you were cooking in the B-Day? I can't remember.
Oh, God. I just hope everyone remembers my mum's watching. Oh dear, so this was a good turn from him actually. At the end of this he gets the ball in a nice cage and he's pushed some players ahead of the ball so he can then try and gain yardage the following turn. And I was in all sorts of trouble here. This was a really strong turn from him. And I can't remember how I got out of it, but it was a very good turn. If you're looking to learn how to push forward a cage with only movement 6 players, what TYS is doing by putting players ahead and trying to screen off the space in front of the cage is exactly the right thing to do. And I like this. This was good play. This was a very good turn from the Amazons. So I pondered long and hard about this turn, and what I was trying to do was get a shape of a couple of players in here and a couple of players in this V shape here, so we could try and contain the space that he'd run forward. I'd realised that I couldn't knock these players out of the way and form up a straight screen again, so it had to be a V shape. There was no other choice, so that meant that the blitz was suboptimal and that I had to go for someone just to push them out of the way. I didn't like this blitz, but I was forced into it. And we rolled bollocks. So there was that. This didn't help. Oh Tim, it's nearly time to go to bed. Least favourite child, just remember that, yeah. Right, let's see if we can finish off the V shape.
They're like the flock of geese migrating south for the winter.
So there we go. We get a V. It's not great. It's all right, but it does again invite him to go down a flank, which is not really where he wants to go. And a flank here would be good for us. It's easier to defend. We are unfortunately a player short. If I could have just had one there, just one more, this would have been probably a shutout. But we're seriously light-manned.
Genuinely new experience for you being short, isn't
it? Yeah. So he's taking the yardage that he can get when he can get it, which is good play. But But he is stuck against the sideline, and with only 2 more turns to play, we notice that he's not in scoring range now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He needs to gain a couple of squares really over the next turn. So this turn is really important where he puts his players, because if he doesn't get enough yardage, he's in trouble. I didn't like this foul. I didn't like this at all. Luckily for me, it didn't work. So my thoughts here are, can we just shut him out? If I'm going to go and push into him at least in 1 turn, this is the turn to do that, because we need to just slow him down for a turn.
I haven't got that far, Frank. That's in about 2 minutes. Stick around, bud.
I could have made this a little bit better by dodging this player out and putting follow up and bring the witch elf and the line elf here, because I'm inviting switching back. So this needs to be here. These 2 need to be here and here, and it's not even a mistake. It's just not perfect. Frank, the answer to that was I'm pushing for the win. And I don't think that needed to be there. I think actually we'd be better off cutting him off from running infield, and by making it so he's going to run infield, he can then use his player advantage again. So I think I would have been better suited making the flanks slightly weaker. It's all hindsight though. Chester Wallet gets knocked out. He's going back to sleep. One thing TYS does do really well throughout the whole game is he doesn't actually make any go for it anywhere particularly, unless absolutely critical. He really does play them as movement 6 rather than movement 7 or 8, and that is really good. I would have liked to see this player here just to really pin the witch elf in, giving me the out around the top. I didn't think that was as good as being stood in there, but yeah.
I'm just sat here rolling cigarettes. Do you want to ask me out?
No. So we get our first removal of the game.
Fine.
Turn 15. Quite pleased with that removal. And I choose.
Took the VGP.
I choose to do this, which, in hindsight, maybe the wrong decision. But he's got so many players in scoring range. If I can push this this player back, and then I can put the guard in here, he's got to do 3+ handoff and 3+ throw and 3+ catch to go score. Or he's got to dodge out and do the same thing. So I'm thinking, put a little bit more effort in. Maybe the best thing to do would have been stood here and dodge in here. I don't know. But Witch Elf lets herself down, and it's fairly trivial to get out of now. So it'll be 1-1, as long as he doesn't make a 1 on a go for it to score. Like that ever happens this game.
Steady now. That was spoilers, that.
I know. He shouldn't have done that. Oh my word, he should not have done that. I know why he did it, but he should not have done that, because he has to make a go for it here.
You are looking a bit like a hologram, not very well.
So there we go. Takes the game to overtime. If I can receive. No, sorry, it's not taken to overtime, is it? We've still got turn 16. And I practiced a few one-turn touchdowns with movement 7 earlier in the week, thinking, yeah, might get one. Get lucky here, we get the KOs back. We've got 10 players. Now, I was genuinely stunned by this setup, because this is the absolute easiest setup you can possibly give someone for a one-turn touchdown. Really, really easy. So if you're watching this back and want to know why, well, all the 3 players are together, so it's easy to push them around, and all the other players are well out of the way, so they don't get interfere with what you're trying to do. Quick snap, the best thing to do is normally not move players when you've got movement 7, because it becomes more complicated and you can actually cause yourself a problem. So all I do is bring the person forward throwing the ball. And that was a very contentious roll there. The first action of the one turn was fail, and I don't know any more re-rolls left, and I choose to re-roll it. And the reason, genuinely, the reason I choose to re-roll it, two reasons. One, if this works, I win the game. Two, I've got fame. Maybe, other than weather change, I might get a re-roll in the second in overtime if I don't score, and it's probably okay. 3 re-rolls to 1 re-roll, 3 re-rolls to no re-rolls. If this goes to penalties, I'm going to lose. So play the game to win. Get the push, get the push. Then you need to push this player forward a square because you absolutely need that one. It's not done at this point, by the way. If you actually get a non-knockdown, you can engineer the rest of it using this player here. It's a little more tricky, but you can do it. So we don't get the knockdown, which is good. And then all we need to do is the rest of it's basically done. So there we go. Push him across, and now we've got 2 more chances to get the non-knockdown. Doesn't matter where this player stands. Any of those 3 squares is fine. Push. Don't get the knockdown. So run this player around, stand him there, and we can push through the diagonal to end it up there. There we go. We get the knockdown, and possibly by a little bit of luck rather than judgment, my player who's going to receive the ball, who's now in scoring range, is not in a tackle zone. So movement 7 player went to pick the ball up, and it was 2+, 2+, 2+. And we've now got a chance to win the game. So as you'll notice here, there's 4+ dodges because you run through 2 tackle zones, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got to make an additional dodge if you're going to make it 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 3+, 3+, 2+. Or we can go 4+, 3+, 2+. So I should have gone through a diagonal. And the odds on this at this point, when we have got dodge, let's reset that. 4+, 3+, 2+, 2+. So the odds on scoring this are 46% if I choose to go the silly way. If I choose to go the correct way, it's still 46%. That doesn't look right. Oh, 38%, sorry. The 38% if I choose to go the silly way, and 46% if I choose to go the sensible way. So let's see what happens. For $250, ladies and gentlemen, can I get into the end zone? No. 5 times in 6, the answer is yes. 1 time in 6, the game says fuck off.
Thank Timothy.
Oh well. Right, he gets his KO back. Now for receiving, we're still good. If we just need to give him the ball.
Physics.